Let's create the atoms asset. So let's go to content, create a new folder, call this atoms. So the first asset we need to create is the agent types. So let's create a folder agent types. And so if you go inside the first person, so we have the character and the weapon. So let's start with the character first. Sorry, not here, but it's the mannequin is here inside the anim start pack. So let's go to the mesh. We can create an agent type directly from this asset. Let's go select our mannequin skeletal mesh, go to atoms crowd, and create an agent type asset. Let's save inside the atoms, agent types, and OK. Let's open the skeleton because we need to tag some joints here. Actually, I think only one joint. Let's go to asset details. If you don't have this tab here, just go to the window and then turn on the asset detail visibility here. And then let's add the atom skeleton user data. For this tutorial, we're not going to set up the legs for the foot locking, but if you want, you can add basically the joint tags for the legs here. In this case, I need to just tag my pelvis or the root. In this case, to keep it simple, just put root here as pelvis, so as the main joint. We can save this one. Let's go back to our agent type asset, and I have here, let's save this guy, and let's set up the physics asset. So we can use the physics assets from the anim start pack, and let's set up the collision also. Let's try for the mannequin should be 30, 70, and then translation or 90 should be fine. So this is our agent type. We can test it. Just create an agent group, create a grid layout for now, and select our mannequin. And it's there here. Okay, sounds good. Let's prepare also the weapon. So let's go back this time at the first person, weapon, mesh. Let's select the weapon gun. Let's create an agent type from this asset as well. Saving the agent types. Okay. Let's go to the atoms, agent types. Let's open the asset here. Just select the ragdoll setup for this asset. This is the FP gun, and for now it's fine. For the collision, we're not using collisions to trigger stuff on the weapon. We just use the ragdoll here. So let's save. Okay, let's save both those assets. Now let's prepare the anim sequences and also the state machine for the mannequin. So let's go back to the anim starter pack. So first let's set up the idle. In this case, we are going to use the idle rifle hip. Idle rifle hip. Let's open this guy. So we need to set up the atoms data. So expand the asset user data and add an atoms unencrypted user data. And let's expand this one. So we want a loop clip. So let's turn the loop option there. the direction the clip is on the y-axis because it is facing the y-axis. There is no velocity. We need to compute the ground height if we want to do the ground adaptation. And then let's select our mannequin agent type. Yeah, we want this clip to apply transition at every frame inside the state machine. So let's open the transition frames here, put as -1. This means that this clip can change state inside the state machine at every frame. And for this clip is all fine. Let's save this one. Now we need a clip for the movement, so we can use, for example, a jog clip. And let me close this one. Let's have a look to the jog forward rifle. So this sounds perfect. So let's add AtomsUnreal clip data as well here. Let's expand this one. So let's sell to the cycle here. Yeah, should be from 0 to 22. But let's set up first the other things. That is a loop clip. Let's override the ground 8 with a ground 8 of 0, because the plane is at 0. And we need to set some velocity because this clip is in place, so it has no root motion, but I thought we need a root motion. So we add a constant velocity, and should be 0, 12, 0 should be fine. Then let's set the compatible agent type, and then we need to set the loop here in transition frame. Let's save for now. Let's have a look if Atoms is able to compute a transition frame for us. Let's put a threshold. Reference frame is 0. Let's close this one. Yeah, 22. We can use 0 for 44, but let's put only one cycle here on the loop range, and then should be fine. Okay, let's set up the state machine. Also, let's first check our clip. So I'll add a clip reader here, and it's the idle before heap. So let's press play. Yeah, it seems working fine. Let's have a look to the jog forward rifle. Okay, seems the clip is fine. So let's create a state machine. Create a new folder. State machines. Let's go to the Anim starter pack. So let's select our idle, rifle, heap, and jog forward. Then let's create automatically here. Create a state machine. And let's save it. Atoms, state machine, let's have a look. So we have the idle with ID 0. We assign the idle clip. We have the forward, hit 1. So let's set up the transition. We don't have transition clip, so it will be just linear blending between the two. So we can save this one, and now let's set up the agent type with this state machine. Okay, select and save. Let's have a look if 4 works fine. let's create a state machine behavior. So 0 is the idle. Perfect. And the idle state 1. And let's set up also the fire clip. Let's go to the anim starter pack. For the fire clip, we are going to use the fire shotgun heap. So let's add an atoms anim clip user data. Okay, so the frame range is a full clip, it's a loop clip, and direction is fine. We need to compute the ground 8 for the ground adaptation, and the velocity is 0, so it's an idle clip, and set up the agent type. Okay, and now basically we need a metadata on some joins to be used then later by the behavior tree to spawn a projectile from the weapon. So we need a custom curve here. Atoms is able to translate custom curve to joint metadata. So for example, we can add a custom curve on the hand right joint here. So let's add a new curve. Atoms use specific name to be able to translate this data to a joint metadata. So we want to add this metadata to one joint. In this case, let's add to the hand right joints. Let's call it hand underscore r, and then we need the type. We won't convert this one to a bool metadata, so let's call bool. And then finally the name of the metadata, and let's call this fire. Okay, so now we need to put some keyframe here. Okay, so let's put a keyframe here, another, probably let's put here. Okay, so we want this keyframe with value of 1. Oh, sorry, not this one. And then this one is 0. Oops, sorry. Let's change the tangent. So we be a constant tangent. And let's have a look at this one as frame 3, so it's fine. So we have basically, if we check the animation, we're going to use basically the shotgun fire at the beginning, and then it's the end. But we need a couple of frames to be sure that this data is passed to atoms, depending on the frame rate and the tick time of the current frame. So if we put 3 frames here, would be enough. So let's save this one. Okay, let's add this clip to the state machine. Go to the state machine, let's open this one and create a new state or fire, and let's add our fire shotgun heap clip. Let's put ID of 2, and then we can set up the transition. Okay, one important thing is to set up the proper blending frame when we are moving into this state, because since we are the fire metadata on the hand, that it's at one of only the first 3 frames. We don't want the blending to blend that data too much. So for the blending we are going to use a single frame for the blending. In this way, basically Atoms will only blend that metadata at the first frame. So we have other 2 frames with the file metadata at 1 that we can use later. And the same thing here. One. Actually, only on the blend out frame will be 1. Okay, sorry. So like this should work. So let's save our state machine. Let's have a look if our file clip is working. Let's have a look if our metadata is working correctly. Let's add a copy metadata behavior. So our input be file and let's put on a simple file metadata. Okay, and let's have a play. Let's activate the gameplay debugger. Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, there is a fire there. If you see, let's go to the true at the beginning of the clip. So it's all working fine. So our assets are ready, and we can start to set up the agent group.